In this video, we are gonna cover the most important part of every miniature, and those are faces. Listen, your blending doesn't have to be perfect, your edge highlights don't have to be applied with laser precision, but if the face doesn't look good, the rest of the miniature will not save it. That is why in this video you will learn multiple steps and methods so you yourself can paint very nice faces. Is painting faces as hard as it looks? Let's find out. By the way, as you can see on this graph, just a small percentage of you guys are subscribed, so if you enjoy the video, consider subscribing, it's free, and you can always change your mind later. Colors. So the first question that you might ask is, which colors do you use? While every skin tone is a little bit different, there are some similarities that you can keep in mind. For example, maybe you heard of a theory that every skin tone has various degrees of orange and brown. Because this seems to be mostly true, unless you're freaking dead, you wanna use warm brown and build up various degrees of tones with yellow, white, and red. Of course, this can be different for characters that have unique skin tones or that are in specific environment. Either way, since majority of skin tones are of a warm color, you can use just a tiny bit of blue or purple to shade them. That way, not only do you build contrast in values, but also in hues. If you wanna keep your shades more warm, use either dark red, brown, or a purple that has more red. Painting. I have mentioned in my last video that as long as you know how much paint should you use and where to place it, most of the time you will do just fine. And this is very much true when it comes to painting faces as well, and even more so. You see, first you have to decide where is the light coming from. For example, this Sister of Battle has the left side of the face way more exposed than the right one. And because of that, I build the reflections there and I leave the other side way more brown and dark. You could also notice that I am starting from a dark base coat. Usually I find it way easier starting dark and building all the volume from there. Alternative to this is starting from a mid-tone, using a wash over the entirety of the face, and then building the volume. This approach of using a wash is perhaps a little bit faster, but since you don't have as much control over washes as you do over standard layer, I would use it for tabletop miniatures instead of display pieces. So first, I select a base coat that is dark enough so it can be used as a shade as well. Notice that later I will not come back to this color unless I need to fix anything. Because by progressively building the volumes, we will leave darker colors in unexposed parts anyway. Now you wanna start adding lighter and lighter colors into your base coat. These new tones will be applied to smaller and smaller areas, depending on which parts are the most exposed ones. In general, you should keep on highlighting the cheeks, nose, forehead, and chin. Highlighting the jawline also helps the miniature look more heroic. If you are painting Caucasian skin like me here, you can build up pink, yellow, or cream highlights. For a smaller miniature, I usually just add paint like ivory or flayed one flesh to my base coat, and that's it. In this case, I can use a little bit of pink highlights around the cheeks and keep more desaturated or yellowish highlights for the forehead and chin. It is always a good idea to have some photo of real face for reference to see where to put more pink and where to put more yellow and ivory. What is quite important is to keep all of the layers quite thin. That way, you have control over how much paint are you applying, and you can always fix any mistakes with just a few glazes. Additionally, building smooth gradient is way easier like this. Simply adding more water into your paint and glazing over transitions helps. If you would like to add some diversity to the skin, now is the time to apply really thin filters of some shade colors. For female skin tones, I like to add a little bit of magenta under cheekbones, or you can add a bluish purple to unexposed parts. Furthermore, if you wanna add some stubble, take a gray paint, mix it into your skin tone color and glaze it wherever you want. To highlight this stubble, simply add lighter skin tone into this mix. The eyes. Now finally, it's time to paint the eyes. This is actually the center of attention and you should really take your time carefully painting them. Generally, you wanna paint the socket area with a black color and then use white or close to white paint. You should leave some black in between the skin and the eye itself, just as if you were painting Space Marine lenses. And lastly, paint the pupil with a black dot. Honestly, I rarely do this correctly on a first try, so be prepared to do it multiple times. Also, if you think that you have enough space to put some color in there, definitely do that. For example, right here I have painted black border and I have put a super small layer of blue inside of it. Additionally, if you feel confident enough and if you have enough space, you can paint a black pupil inside and add white reflection. Not only does it require a lot of patience and practice, but I also use super precise brush for that. Too much contrast? As you might know, Heavy Metal team really likes to edge highlight the hell out of every miniature. By doing that, their pieces look amazing on the playing board, since you can clearly see all the little details. But they also have a tendency to build too high of a contrast on their faces. For example, look how aggressively are the recesses shaded here on this face. I mean, at this point she looks like chugging a six-pack of Bud Light while smoking Camels every day. And for example, when you take this new Banshee miniature and compare it to this result right here, I think it is obvious that you don't have to paint with such an aggressive contrast. So while some contrast and shades are important, I definitely wouldn't over-exaggerate it. But if you like it, go for it. Silver for monsters, steel for humans. Is what a Witcher would say, psych! But this is not a Witcher, this is John Gareth, and he and many other awesome miniatures can be 3D printed by you if you join Loot. What is Loot? Loot is a subscription-based service that offers pre-supported 3D printable files in monthly bundles. This month's Loot is based on witches. You can even buy loots from previous months, like this one, because there is a freaking floating rock! I wanna thank Loot Studios for sponsoring this video. As always, my friends, if you like the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye!